For those that are looking to follow or are following a plant-based diet and are looking to improve performance, gain muscle mass, what are some considerations that should be taken into account before making a switch to the diet and or as you're looking at your diet currently? Dr. Miller with some 3 points I hope you find valuable as you are embarking on or already on your journey as a vegan athlete or plant-based athlete. Now, first of all, remember what veganism is. It's a strict, no animal products at all. Where vegetarianism takes varying degrees. You might just eat egg whites, or you might just eat fish, or both of those things and nothing else. Or, I don't eat animals, but I eat the animal products, so on and so forth. So, if we're talking strict plant-based, these are where some of the challenges really accrue faster. In working with vegans, and vegans are strict plant-based followers, and the strict plant-based diet, no animal products. These are the things that I've seen, played out, and I wanted to at least share 3 things to consider, again, related to it. So let's just dive right into it. All right, number 1, protein. Protein absolutely is the most important problem and challenge for a strict plant-based follower. So here's the challenges. Number 1 is there's only so many black beans you can eat, and if you try to eat all your protein in black beans, you're going to have no friends, right? Because the GI distress is going to be incredible. And that's the challenge in trying to get protein from plant-based sources. I'm not saying it can't be done, but this is the fiber many times, or just the bulk of the food that makes it difficult to eat that much protein naturally. And so coming to the realization that you're going to have to take a supplement of some sort. I know that's pretty bold to say, but if you're going to hit protein goals that are going to build muscle mass, you're going to have to take protein powder. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to be whey. It could be a soy or a pea, but keep in mind that because of the quality of the protein and more the bioavailability of some of these, the absorption of some of these proteins, you may have to take more. So if you're going to take 20 grams of whey protein, you might have to take 30 grams of these other proteins. Many are starting to recognize the benefits of just essential amino acid supplementation. So branched chain amino acids, the 3, in my opinion, is a waste of time. But essential amino acids have the 3 branched chain amino acids and the remaining 6 essential amino acids that are needed for growth, with leucine being the most, probably I say the most important. It's the trigger. If you don't have one of the other ones, though, you can't build protein. So many have dosed leucine and come to find out it's not as effective as having a complete amino acid profile. So I wouldn't recommend branched chain amino acids. I wouldn't recommend just taking leucine. I would recommend a protein source like a pea protein or soy protein, knowing that you probably should up the ante. And this is my recommendation. This isn't rooted in anything solidified in this research literature, which we don't have a lot of anyway when it comes to plant-based sources. But add an extra 10 grams to whatever you're going to take in whey protein. Okay, again, that's me. That doesn't mean it's golden right now. Essential amino acids, though, may be a better way to go because you don't have the calories associated with it as well. And so that's just kind of a stripped down protein source. So protein's number 1. You may have to sip these shakes in during the day. You may, a bar could do as well, depending on the amino acid profile. Just make sure there's enough leucine in the product. 2 grams would be the bare minimum, and it would still be fine, but scaling even up to 4 grams could be a really nice dosage of leucine per dosage of a protein source. So if you're going to eat 25 grams of protein, make sure there's enough leucine, especially post-workout, that you're going to get that leucine, enough leucine to be able to see muscle mass grow. And that seems to be one of the major limitations with plant-based diets in protein, in terms of not seeing the growth that you want, and then just getting it in. You're going to have to be thoughtful in meal planning and overlapping food. You may not be able to hit 24 grams in protein every meal, like a plan may outline. You may be higher or lower in meals just because of the profile of the food, just because some food has more protein than others. Again, the whole issue of I can't get that much protein in this way because it's such a bulky food. I get diarrhea after because it's so much, so on and so forth. Those are going to be significant challenges. I always use the benchmark of 100 grams to start. And that's just a benchmark. So, obviously that's going to be different for a 140-pound person and a 240-pound person. I get that. But I find many times with plant-based individuals that they are eating like 30 grams, 40 grams of protein. So it's not an issue of 100 grams is optimal. It's more optimal for the 140-pound person than it is for the 240-pound person. But it's an issue of just starting to get up to those numbers. Ultimately, the 140-pound person should eat 140 grams. That's a lot of protein. certainly, but that's definitely into that zone. Like, okay, you're getting plenty of protein. 240 pound person should be at 240 grams, right? That's, what I would say is at the higher end. You can eat infinitely much amount of protein, but that would be a lot of protein. But if you're only eating 30 or 40, start with 100. Okay, that would be my suggestion. I know using absolute numbers many times of protein or any macronutrients is kind of but that's what I've seen. That's always my first goal. Get to 100 grams, no matter how big you are. And then obviously if they're 240 pound person, it's going to be easy for them to scale up as compared to the 140 pound person. Okay, so protein is number one. Number two, creatine. Right? Creatine is, I don't like supplements. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big supplement fan. I'm very skeptical of supplements, but this supplement has been researched into the ground where, I feel confident saying it's not only effective, but it's safe. And for a vegan who doesn't get creatine anyway, or doesn't get creatine through their food because it's an animal flesh food source, right? This is where you get it. Having creatine, supplement in is going to be valuable. You'll be able to work harder, longer. You'll be able to see again the gains to muscle mass that you wouldn't see otherwise. So I would highly recommend, especially for those that are involved in strength, power, field court sport type of things. If you made the switch or are going to make the switch, heavily consider using creatine. Again, understanding that I don't really like supplements, even creatine to some degree, just because I don't like supplements. That's not rooted in any sort of, that's just my opinion. So for a plant-based person, though, even a vegetarian, it can be a good idea to supplement creatine, even an omnivore, right? But certainly with plant-based diets, it's a great idea. And the last one, just the general vitamin and mineral profile. So, vitamin D, certainly B12, right? And iron, right? Non-hemi iron from plant sources is the absorption is an issue. This would be best determined where you are, on all these vitamins and minerals, right? By going to the doctor, MD doctor, and having a blood panel, drawn to see if you're deficient in any one of these issues. Now, I think a multivitamin is a great idea, regardless, especially for a plant-based diet, because multivitamins tend to shine when there's a deficiency. And so the multivitamin could be a really game changer, no pun intended, game changer for some of you in terms of, getting those missing vitamins and minerals because you're not eating animal sources. Okay. But I would definitely recommend going and getting a panel done just this general panel looking at vitamin, minerals, and iron, and making sure that, how great is the deficiency. Things like iron should be better supplemented by a doctor, right? Understanding again that this plant-based diet, you don't just want to haphazardly start it. Okay. That's a big mistake, because you watch a documentary or documentaries on this. And I'm not saying plant-based diets are good or bad. I'm just saying that they're more difficult than these documentaries and some of these people that are doing it make them seem. They're not impossible, because I've had clients that do it well, but they are very focused and they have maybe other reasons, like they're worried about animals, right? There's a deeper desire to not eat animal products than just I want to be healthy. If you're of that ilk, like I just want to be healthier, I think this is a better path as an athlete, and especially endurance athletes. I hear this all the time. This is where it comes from many times, is endurance community. You need to understand the amount of work and the amount of focus and the amount of money perhaps that it's going to take to make this switch. What I would recommend, unless there's an ethical issue that you're pursuing, that's a different ballgame. I would recommend looking at your current diet, and if anything, scaling up the fruits and vegetables to start with. I mean, you're going to have to eat those anyway. So if that's where you are not doing a good job, scale up on those first. If you eat 1 serving of fruits and vegetables per day, well, that's not enough. You should be scaling up to 4 to 5 to 6 fruits and vegetables, right? Either one or both. That would be a good place to start, rather than just throwing out all animal products to begin. That would be my advice to you. You can disregard it as you please. But those of you that are going to do this and are doing it, just make sure that and some of you that have been doing this for a long time, you already know those 3 things more than likely. But make sure you're checkboxing those 3 things. There's some other considerations as well, but those are the biggest 3 that I would, especially those of you interested in performance, that I would take to heart and think about. Thanks for joining me. Hope you subscribe to my channel for more information in the field of exercise and sports science, nutrition science, performance. Leave a comment below. Like this video if you liked it, I guess. If you didn't like it, well, I guess you didn't like it. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Again, check out the other videos I have uploaded on a variety of topics in this field that we call movement sciences and nutrition science.